Hi, welcome to the Urban Outdoorsman SoCal video. My name is Danny Milton, and today we're going to be reviewing the 2019 Santa Cruz Bronson. I know this video is a little bit late. This bike has been out for quite some time. I've just had this footage kind of sitting on my shelf, just waiting for me to make the video, and I've been doing other things. Finally got around to it. Hopefully it will help you guys out. So this Santa Cruz bike is the one I've probably been looking the most forward to. Now, I did a review on the Megatower, and I was actually really excited about that bike, but then after riding it was just completely let down. So this bike hits all of my favorite points. My favorite tire size, which is 27.5. The amount of travel it has is 160 in the front and 150 in the rear. Also that it's offered in aluminum, so you can get it at a cheaper price. And obviously the entry price for this bike being $3,500 is a great place to start for any Santa Cruz bike. So I previously did a review on the 2018 model of the Bronson, and I rode it in the same area down the Luge, over in the Portola Hills, and I wasn't really too excited about it. Like, it was a great bike. I mean, it wasn't a great bike. It was a good bike. It climbed okay. It went down okay. It just wasn't slack enough for me. When I saw that when they updated the geometry for the 2019 model, I was very excited to get on this bike to see if it could be a one quiver bike. So some of the things they changed on the 2019 model really interested me. They went almost a full degree slacker on the head tube. The reach, I'm looking at my notes here, the reach is 10 millimeters longer. The wheelbase is 29 millimeters longer, which is a big change. Let's see what else. The seat tube angle is actually steeper by a full degree, which will also make it easier to climb hills. So obviously this bike is made by Santa Cruz, and they are based here in California, obviously in Santa Cruz. And we know they've got great track record, great history, make a huge amount of bikes, all different types of models for pretty much anybody who wants to ride a bike. Their warranty is fantastic. It's lifetime. You break one of these frames, which is going to be pretty difficult to do, and you call them up. As long as you didn't break it on purpose, if you broke it under accidental reasons, they're most likely going to replace the frame free of charge. The biggest thing with Santa Cruz as a manufacturer is they offer so many different models that are so close to each other. There's just in this model alone, I mean, they have aluminum frames, carbon frames. There's all the different types of setups in there. There's like a R and an R+, there's a S and a S+ for the aluminum frames. There's a bunch of different models for the carbon. There's the regular carbon, there's the CC, the carbon reserve that Santa Cruz has as well, which is like their top end carbon. And then all the different other models, like as far as the drivetrains, like if you want an XO, XO1, if you want an XTR, if you want the NX, if you want the GX, it's crazy how many different things and how many different ways you can set up this bike on their website to custom fit pretty much what you want, which is really great, because some manufacturers are like, here's your bike, this is our model, and you're going to have to deal with whatever we put on it, and sometimes it's kind of a pain. So the entry-level model for this bike is obviously an aluminum frame. It is the R model. And that's an aluminum frame. It comes with, just a couple of the things. It has the NX drivetrain, which is SRAM drivetrain, the SRAM brakes, stuff like that. It starts off at $3,500, which is a really great price for all of the bike that you're getting, from Santa Cruz. So if I had my choice and I was going to buy an aluminum frame of this bike, I would definitely go with the S model. The S model is going to cost you $700 more, but you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. You're going to get a much better front fork. You're going to go from the NX to the GX drivetrain. You're going to get better hubs. You're going to get what are some of the other things? You're going to get the drivetrain is going to be better. The brakes are going to be better, and you're also going to get a better seat post as well.
On the Santa Cruz Bronson, the 2019 Santa Cruz Bronson. This is a bike I've been really looking forward to riding. It's right in my wheelhouse. It's 160 up front, 150 in the rear, 27 5-inch tires. Oh my God, so much better. It just feels natural to me riding 27 5s. As soon as I get on a 29er bike, Tires look so big, it's in your head, and just feels weird. This bike should be good. Check back in a couple minutes, let you know how it's doing uphill. What I've been noticing about this bike is that it's so much more playful than the Megatower. The back end is nice and playful. When I want to lift the bike up in the air, you know, little bunny hops and jumps off of little rocks. It's so much lighter and quicker to do that than the Megatower. The Eagle gear feels much more like an Eagle gear on this bike than it did on the Megatower. The Megatower did okay, but it almost felt like there was like friction. There's no sounds, but just felt like you were kind of pedaling through mud. Where this bike in the Eagle gear and a larger chainring, the Bronson has a 32, the Megatower has a 30. I'm getting a lot more torque with easier pedal strokes on this bike than I did on the Megatower. We're at the steepest part of the climb. Got the shock wide open. We're gonna see how this bike does compared to the Megatower. The creaking you're hearing, I wanna say, is the seat. The seat's moving around a little bit. It's not the bike. The seat is creaking under the pressure of my very heavy body. Okay, so doing the second part of the big climb. Got the rear shock locked out this time.
So one of the parts in the video I showed is there's one real long steep part of the climb on the luge, and the first half of it I did with the shock wide open. The second half I did with the shock fully locked out. Now that doesn't lock out the rear shock completely. There's still a little bit of give, but it should make it easier to climb with that shock locked out. Now after doing that, I really didn't notice much of a difference. Now you will notice a difference, but it's very negligible, and I would just say just to leave the shock unlocked all the time unless you're climbing like, you know, a paved road or maybe a fire road, something like that. Just leave that shock wide open and you're not going to feel very little, if any, pedal bob, and it'll get you up the hill great. So climbing with this bike. Climbing with this bike was a lot better than the Megatower, and probably one of the better or even close to the top of the best bikes that I've climbed as far as an enduro bike goes. Mentioning that Megatower had a 76-degree seat tube angle, and the Bronson has a 75 degrees, so it's 1 degree slacker than the Megatower, and it did better climbing. It just felt more, it was just a lot easier to get up some of the steeper parts than the Megatower did. So one of the other things that the Bronson has over the Megatower is it has longer cranks. The Megatower comes with 170 mil cranks, whereas the Bronson, and anytime I give you a spec, I'm talking about the extra large frame. The Bronson extra large frame has 175 millimeter cranks, and it also has a 32 tooth chain ring. So you're gonna get more torque out of each pedal. Longer crank, bigger chain ring in the front is gonna get you up the hill even faster than with that Megatower, which has a 170 mil crank and a 32 tooth chain, or I'm sorry, a 30 tooth chain ring. So this trail it has some very fast straight parts you can see in the video, and there's some parts where you're whipping back and forth really quick. It's really tight. It's a really great trail to test out a bike on. And compared to the Megatower, which I rode the Megatower the same day I did this demo as well, the Megatower was just, it was great in the straight parts, but it was horrible for me when you had to be whipping back and forth and staying really tight on a line. Now the Bronson, it did everything that I wanted it to do. When you're going down a trail and you see the line that you want to be on, and you just want the bike to you want what your body is used to doing just to go on that line and just to eat it up and get you through it. You don't want to have to overthink it. Like on the Megatower, I'd have to like lean a little bit farther forward to get front tire traction. This bike, I didn't even have to think about it. It just did what my brain and my body wanted it to do, and it soaked it up and just ate up this trail like almost no other bike I've ridden down it. It was super nimble, back and forth through all the tight switchbacks. It was very easy. The back end had a lot of pop, so it was easy to kind of like bunny hop or lift the bike up to get over certain sections. Much better than the Megatower was. The Megatower's back end was just dead to me. Now that could have been the shock tune, but even still, this bike has a shorter chainstays than the Megatower does, which means that back end is going to be much easier to pop up and much more lively than the Megatower, and it just crushed it completely. And the other thing about this bike is that, also compared to the Megatower, is that it has a much lower stack, meaning that the front, where the front part of the frame is much lower than the Megatower, which means you don't have to lean forward to keep your weight on that front tire, so that you do have plenty of front tire grip. The stack on the Bronson was much lower. It made it much easier to keep my balance in the center where I wanted it to, and the entire time I didn't have to, I just felt planted on the bike. I didn't have to lean too far forward to keep that front tire grip, anything like that. This bike was just, I sat on it and I went, and it did amazing.
All right, drone's still on me. Whew. Just me, but there's a lot of guys up there. Oh yeah, much better through that chunk. Much better job than a high tower. Brakes are feeling good. Front shock is feeling good. Bike's nice and planted. Hopefully the drone is still on me. Yes, it is. Awesome. All right, Santa Cruz Bronson, top of the luge. Ooh, little skiddy there. Oh, this bike is so much better than the Megatower. It's doing exactly what I want it to do, when I want it to do. Oh yeah, all right. Jesus Christ. Much more confident feeling on this bike. God, I'm like out of rhythm because I stopped up there. All right, let's get in the groove, baby. Woo! A little high there. Get your foot on the pedals. Oh, my legs are getting tired. Whew. Keep your head up. Got to keep your head up. Woo. A little too hot through there. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was almost real bad. Did not get the front end up.
So overall, what did I think about this bike? I mean, it's pretty obvious if you've watched any part of this video. I love this bike. This is by far my favorite Santa Cruz bike that I've ever ridden. You know, compared to the Hightower LT and then the Megatower, it crushes the Megatower. I wouldn't recommend the Megatower to anybody other than somebody who is a very experienced rider and does a lot of just crazy like bike park downhill monster stuff. This Bronson is a one bike quiver. This Bronson can do anything. It can climb, it can go downhill. I mean, I'm sure if you took this to a bike park, you wouldn't have any problems at all on the Bronson. It's just that perfect of a bike. It's a one quiver bike. You can take this anywhere. You could take this on the bike path. You could take this to a bike park. You could take this to your local trails. It's going to do great wherever you put it in any situation for you. I mean, at least it did for me. So I did compare it to the Megatower, which obviously I didn't like. The Hightower LT, which is a video I did just recently, is probably my favorite 29er, and it changed a lot of how I felt about 29ers. That being said, I still like this bike more than the Hightower LT. It's definitely in my top 5, probably in my top 3. I don't really want to go over it. I'm trying to keep this video short as possible, but it's a great bike. You can get it at a great price. It's going to do whatever you want, anytime you throw, anything you throw at it, wherever you take it, it's going to be great. And it's Santa Cruz. They make great bikes. You're getting a lot of great components with this bike. You're getting a great warranty with this bike. And I mean, I'm gushing, right? I can't help but gush. It's that great of a bike. And, color choices and just all the different ways you can set this bike up to buy it from the manufacturer. It's a complete bike, and it's a complete company, and I would highly recommend this bike to anybody getting started, any intermediate guys, even top pro guys or whatever. This bike's going to be really good for you. Okay, so thanks for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. All of you guys that are out there subscribing to my channel, I appreciate it more than you could possibly know. I'm really glad that these videos are helping people. That's the reason why I started making them. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Do all that fun stuff, like, comment, share. If you have a bike that you want me to test ride, I will try to get around to it. But that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching. And always, that last thing you can do is click on one of the boxes up in the corners here. One's going to take you to a recent video. Another one's going to take you to a favorite playlist. And always, you can click on that logo in the center, the Urban Outdoorsman SoCal logo, to subscribe. Thanks a lot.